How's it going there, guys? Hey, Jeremy here, Consciousness Awake. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing real good today. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. So in this video, I made a community post yesterday about a significant, kind of shocking out-of-body experience that I had just the other day, which was at around 5 a.m. on Sunday. So today's Monday. So it was yesterday early morning, and the title of this video will be something like OBE to the sun, something like that. So over the years, I've never been able to actually astrally project to the sun, or like into the sun, or on the sun. I've been able to get out into space, maybe about halfway, but close enough to the sun in my astral body to observe the sun a little more close up. And from the OBE experiences that I had over the years, this whole time, basically, up until this new OBE from just a couple days ago, before, like, today, I was under the impression that the sun was kind of like an interdimensional portal, because from observing the sun while out of body a few different times, not just one time, I would see almost like a kind of a dark ring, a very maybe black ring, darker or shaded, that would be like on the surface of the sun, and I would see large ships, vehicles, moving in and out of that thing that looked like some kind of portal that was going into the sun. And then I always kind of like, in my own mind or my own perspective from those experiences, kind of like thought that there was some kind of interdimensional portal that just runs through the sun and it goes into some other dimension or whatnot. And I still kind of believe some of that could be possible, but after my OBE from the other day, it's kind of changed my own perspective on what's going on with the sun. And so let me now that I've explained kind of where I was at with it prior to the last couple days, let me explain why my perspective has changed. I mean, at least changed considerably. So, so on Sunday morning around 5 a.m., I was sleeping on the couch. And I was laying on my back on the couch. I was just sleeping. I was not in dream state during the time of my out of body. I was definitely just sleeping, not in a dream. And I thought that I had woken up with my physical body, and I got up off the couch and walked down the hallway to where the light switch is, turned the light on, and then noticed that my hand was just going through the light switch, the light wasn't turning on. And so, as that's happened before, sometimes my OBE exits are very clean. There's not a lot of disruptions or a lot of strange noises or frequency shifting and vibrational state, all that kind of stuff. The buzzing, the classic buzzing noise, buzzing sound behind your head as you're getting out of body. It sometimes it's very calm. It's clean. and it almost tricks you at first, because sometimes when you're rolling out of your body or levitating on your body, you got to put like some effort into it, so to speak. It's not it's not a super easy transition. But sometimes it happens. I think what happens is, like I was just sleeping on the couch, and for whatever reason, my consciousness just woke up, and my body was just totally asleep. And it was just really easy to get out. And there was no like sleep paralysis or any of those kinds of factors too. It was very clean. But anyways, let me move forward. There was a little noise though, as I was checking the light switch, and as the light switch didn't turn on, and I realized I was actually in an out-of-body projection, an astral projection. There was some scattering kind of like footstep noises near me on the staircase, and the back door down the hall. It's almost, there was kind of like some knocking noises, and those are just typical. But really, honestly, other than that, it was a very clean OB exit. And so, right in that moment, I remembered my intention. Because over the years, I always have certain sets of intentions to do, things to experiment with or try, observational stuff, collecting data while in astral projections. And so what's been on my mind for a few weeks now is trying to project back to the sun and to investigate what I previously had thought of as there being some kind of interdimensional portal that's attached to the sun. So I went out into space. Now, mind you, just so you know, if you're projecting astrally projecting into outer space, the two easiest targets is the moon and the sun. The moon is pretty close through astral projection. It's very quick to get there, and the sun is almost just as easy, because once you get high enough into space, you automatically notice the sun. It's bright, it's white, lots of energy. There's almost like this, kind of like this well-like, or like these walls, or this like tunnel-like kind of structure moving towards the sun. And behind the sun, it looks like kind of a dark well, kind of like structure right behind it, like it's sitting inside of a dark well. Anyways, so I'm going out and I'm going towards my target, right? And typically, what happens is I hit a kind of this like invisible energy barrier when I get to a certain point. And that's what happened to me with the few other experiences from over the years, where I get to a certain point and I'm looking at the sun and kind of seeing that portal, right? This time, I got to that energy barrier, and I was kind of going into it trying to ignore it, like a mind over matter kind of thing, like just pretending like not to think about it or put any thought or energy into it, to not like manifest it myself. And I was trying really hard, but I still hit this barrier. And over the last year, especially with several other OBEs I've had more recently in my life, I have been encountering a being called Edan, who's blue-skinned, reptilian-looking, winged, very tall, very a heart of gold. Is a very loving being, even though Edan is sexless, not male, not female. So I shouldn't say he, but him is him. As a being, I keep saying he or him because I just kind of still sense this like masculine energy or something. I don't know. But regardless, I don't want to diverge into too much of of Eden at this time. I just want to tell you what happened. So, a couple times, Eden reminded me that he reminded me about how I'm very like independent minded. I don't usually ask for help, so to speak. And so that applies to my regular physical life reality, and also when I'm out of body. I don't really, call upon spirits or spirit guides, or I'm just kind of like on my own. He actually started calling me a cowboy, so that's kind of like my nickname, Cowboy. But anyways, so I remember what he told me last time, which was, if you ever get in a certain situation, or you're trying to get to some certain location and you feel like you get stuck, don't hesitate to call on me. So in that moment, during that OBE, I just very loudly, I projected with lots of vibration and frequency outward all around me, and I projected his name 4 times, loud and clear, and then within microseconds, what felt like microseconds or seconds, Eden is coming towards me. Okay? And then I keep saying he. So Eden, he already knew what I was trying to do. It was like a telepathic thing. Like, he knew I was trying to get closer to the sun, to do some OBE exploration in that moment. Again, it was, like I said, a clean OBE exit. I had a lot of conscious awareness and control during the experience, which isn't always the case. So sometimes you really need to, focus and try to execute on some of those opportunities. So again, have your list of intentions and things you are willing to want to try and do, investigate. And so he said, there I go with he again. Eden said that, you can't go past that wall unless you actually shapeshift your astral body. And I said, oh, interesting. Well, what do you mean? What am I shapeshifting it to? And so he just simply explained, all you have to do, if you want to go investigate what is inside the sun, you need to shapeshift your astral body into a golden suit. And I said, okay. So I didn't look at my whole astral body at the time. I just had my arms up like this. And I was looking at my arms and hands, my astral arms and hands. And then I just manifested a golden suit. So like a golden body, right? And it started happening. And I'm not sure if it was all just me, or if Eden, if he kind of assisted in that happening. I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, I can feel myself just kind of moving, like almost into some kind of gravitational kind of way, just being pulled magnetically, like towards the sun. And then as I'm going, I look over my shoulder, and I'm kind of thinking, well, if Eden is here to help me, he would be going with me, right? But he wasn't. So I was on my own. He just helped me for that transitional aspect. And so I'm getting pulled in, and then what I saw before, which is kind of this like dark ring or circle on the sun, I saw that, and then I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to focus my intent to go through that. I go in through that, and then what seemed like a lot of time, but it probably wasn't, it was probably, it seemed like a distance is what I should say, but I don't think I was actually moving as quickly as I maybe perceived as I was moving. I was probably moving very slowly. Kind of falling down into the core of the sun. And I just remember white golden just energy and light, just like a mist, like it was like a golden light, thick fog. There we go. That's probably what it was feeling like. And I was moving through it. And then I get to a clearing, and I walk into this huge, very large space. It was big. Absolutely huge. I have no idea how big it was. And as I'm walking in, I start looking up, and I start seeing all of these. Actually, let me draw what I'm. They look like hexagonal spheres, but not like a whole sphere, or at least from my perspective, it kind of looked like this. Let me try to draw it real quick. Six-sided hexagon, and it kind of looked like this. Let me just draw this out. Okay, kind of like this. If you could see that, I'm not the best drawer in the world, but there you go. That's kind of a idea of what it looked like, a hexagonal sphere-like objects, and they were really big. And inside each of one were massive, huge beings. Massive beings. And when I'm looking up, and they're kind of scattered around, they're not like connected. And then what I can notice is way in the background, it's almost like there was some kind of star, like way off in the distance. And it was filtering in light. And then the light was getting absorbed into each of the angles, different hexagonal angles of the spheres. And then the light was going into the sphere where all these different beings were. I could see like maybe a few dozen of these, kind of from my vantage point and perspective. So who knows? I don't know how many there actually were in this whole huge, in the core of the sun, or this huge whatever that was. And as the light was coming in different angles into these hexagonal spheres, the beings it almost looked like they were transmutating, like God's energy, or just light or something. And then it was shooting out of there, and then going basically towards, from what it looked like solar flares and whatever, explosions. I don't know. It was just going through there and going towards Earth, towards our physical reality. And I didn't speak to anyone there or anything. This was strictly more like observational. But as I was watching this, internally, my own consciousness was like assessing it, observing it, and what it almost seemed like was that these beings were like volunteers, and it was like their duty or job to transmutate or take energy from some higher dimensional plane, or God, or wherever it's coming from, down to the physical plane, to balance of light and dark in our realm, in our physical plane. I mean, we have darkness and light, positive and negative, duality. I do believe that where we live right now in this reality, duality is just kind of built in as part of the infrastructure of the place we're in right now. So it's almost like it reminds me of like black holes, and how like black holes emit like lower frequencies into the universe. Lower frequencies are coming out of black holes, and then these stars, or like our sun, is pumping out like higher frequency kind of energy, and it's almost this balancing act, balancing game within this physical realm of the darkness and the light. And so I feel like when people talk about like receiving light codes or codes from the sun, or downloading certain things that evolve their own consciousness and whatnot, I almost feel like these huge beings that were doing this, it's like they were doing it to help humanity. And then also the other internal feeling I had was that God is even more real and more amazing and more powerful than I could ever even fathom or imagine. I know that there's multiple gods. We're all gods within our own right as creator beings. But there is some other force and there is something very divine out there that is has a lot of infrastructure put into place to really help us ascend. So I mean, those are just some of the thoughts I was having during that OBE. And then so right then is when I ended it, and a lot of times when you have these really kind of crazy OBEs, a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of things you're observing, is actually very, very smart to just abort the mission or abort the OBE and just go right back to your body while all of the information is very accessible, and all the memories are right there, right in front of you, and then you make the decision to go back with all the memories intact for better memory recall, because sometimes astral projections can get a little unpredictable, and sometimes things can go different ways, and you might not remember everything for whatever reason, depending on the situation. But so that's my story. I hope that I hope that you just listen to the whole 22-minute spiel there. Wow, I didn't think I'd go this long. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And more importantly, if you've had your own astral projections or out-of-body experiences involving the sun or the moon or any of that kind of stuff, definitely email me or leave something in the comments about your own experiences. Alrighty, guys, so I'll talk to you very soon. Positive energy and love always. Peace. Bye.